Hey, great Tuesday evening. It is a beautiful night in the city of Brownsville, and I'm sure it's a beautiful night in the city of Port Isabel, Texas. Today,
It is beautiful.
today, of course, we got Frankie the Fish in the middle.
How's it going, everybody? Happy Tuesday evening. We did get unfortunate news. We did get our sixth uh, COVID death in Hidalgo County, bringing the RGV count to 21 in total. But other than that, it's great to be here, guys. Excited for tonight's show. We have our friend Jimmy from PI, so looking forward to it. How's it going, Jimmy?
Pretty good, pretty good. It's nice and it was nice and sunny earlier, so it was a great day.
And I've known Jimmy for a while. Jimmy is the vice president of the Board of Trustees in Port Isabel, Texas. And we're not going to hold the vice president seat against you. Here we have not done very well with our vice presidents in the city of Brownsville. So we won't hold that against you, Jimmy.
Thank you, thank you.
But I love myself, Port Isabel. I love most of the board members there, and I say most because I don't know all of them, really well. But the ones that we've had the opportunity to have fellowship with in regards to a lot of the conferences and a lot of the different events that we went, great people, and of course, y'all stole one of our jewels. Y'all stole our y'all superintendent. And again, fair warning that November's on its way, and November comes, and who knows? But we really, really miss Terry, and Terry's always been very, very upfront, very good to all of us up here. So, Jimmy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing my part to stay inside when I do have to go outside, wear a mask, where I know the whole city as a whole, the whole community. Obviously, our numbers, even though we're a very small town, a small community, our numbers do speak, a lot of what we're doing to stop the to flatten the curve. So I'm doing what I can, to set the example. As a community leader, that's what we should be doing. Setting the example for our community, and just following what the rules are, the rules, the laws, keeping everything, making an example of how everything should be more than anything.
Well, I'm going to say that one of the things I think that a lot of us had a couple of issues with at first, and maybe even today, that at times some of those rules were getting a little bit kind of confusing. And you made mention in regards to the face coverings, and that was one of them. Is it going to be mandated? Is it not going to be mandated? And then we had to do it because we in the city of Brownsville, because it started to become a city mandate, and then like a week later or 3-4 days later, then the county actually affected the mandate for all of us, which included Port Isabel. Because I don't know if Frankie knew this, but Port Isabel is part of Cameron County. So it's there. But now, we recently received the governor gave a speech, a press conference yesterday. Now he said, hey, no fines for no wearing face coverings. But one of the things that I like that you said, Jimmy, was that, even though it's not governor mandated or county mandated much anymore, I think it's our duty to be responsible, and to go out there and try to protect not only ourselves but more importantly the individuals that are amongst us in regards to the older individuals and the younger individuals. No,
Absolutely.
well, one of the things I think that I saw in regards to Port Isabel, Port Isabel is a fishing town. So how hard did y'all take it in regards to people from Port Isabel not being able to fish, man? I'm sure the people were going crazy.
Personally, I used to do it so much when I was little. To me, it didn't really affect me. But I some of my friends that I did talk to, it killed them. Some of them have the luxury of having the bay in their backyard. So the ones that really love it were already prepared for it. So they didn't miss it at all. But other than that, the boats were up. Boats couldn't go out. So we did take especially the charter businesses. Those are the ones that the fishing charters out on the island and here in Port Isabel. They're the ones that we heard most from because of course, like everybody else, it was hurting their business.
Well, I think one of the things that we saw Port Isabel do, which really like, oh my gosh, it sort of like brought it kind of home to a lot of us, was I think Port Isabel was one of the first cities, if I'm not mistaken, to place officers at the entrance of the city. And there was some of the pictures going like, oh my. And that's when it started to become like very, very surreal. Did you
Right.
have any experience with that, or any individuals out there mentioning that?
We're such a small town. We're such a small community where all of the police officers know all of us. The island, Port Isabel, Laguna Vista, all of the locals. I mean, they see our faces and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna go to HEB. We're gonna go to Walmart." But they knew, once they saw that unfamiliar face, we're gonna stop them and make sure they're not going to the island. Because more than anything, what I was trying to get through with you all is that our HEB and our Walmart is so small, right? We're doing so hard to contain the virus. People going to the island are going to stop at our HEB. They're going to stop at our Walmart, which was my biggest concern, right? Because I mean, before I was so freaked out, going with none of this open. Now that we're open, I mean, today all I needed was a full bodysuit to be that safe. Because I mean, that's the last thing I want. I mean, my parents live with me, so I don't want them to get exposed. And like I said, that was the best thing our mayor could have done with that checkpoint, because we all know they were going to the island. They weren't going to come to Port Isabel, but they were going to use our facilities. So we just wanted to do our part to make sure that we kept our citizens safe.
No, we appreciated that, and I'm going to ask and answer this question. Can store restaurants refuse service if you don't have a face mask? My personal answer is I'm going to say yes. Stores can, restaurants can refuse service to anyone they don't want. They reserve the right to refuse service to anyone, and a lot of them have this no shirts, no shoes, no service. Except on the island, I don't think that much. That doesn't count too much for the island, but it is in place. So they might make it into a thing. With that said, I will say that one of the posts that Frankie put up today was in regards to Wing Barn, and a post in regards to the movie theater. A lot of restaurants out there, and we talked about this morning with Goodrich. And I think we might have talked about it last night. But a lot of the businesses out there are going to basically opt not to open. And the reason behind it is because if you're only going to allow 25% of the people to the occupancy rate in all of these, it's going to be hard for them to actually, break through in regards to the money. So I don't think, again, Wing Barn has already announced it. They put up a post that they are not going to open up until the governor switches from 25 to 50% of occupancy rate, which by then it's probably an amount that they'll be able to live with. Your opinion, Jimmy, or your opinion, Frankie?
Well, I actually had a friend of mine who owns a restaurant in Rosenberg, and he posted on his Facebook. He said, this is going to happen. We are going to open up the business with 4 tables in it, not the 30 tables you're used to. So there's only going to be 4 tables in there, just to get the regular customers in there. But they're going to do it more for, customer satisfaction. But he's probably going to end up losing business because, the people that are sitting in there aren't going to be, they're not going to do their thing and eat and leave, But he's doing that he's doing the courtesy for his regulars.
In regards to the curbside, I think that's a fantastic idea. I still am a big believer that it's still too soon to be opening up our shops. Again, we've been stating time and time again about the resurgence of the second wave. And it just feels weird. How are we supposed to go to a place, a restaurant in particular, be wearing our masks, having to eat? We're going to be dealing with having to take it on and off. And then whenever the waiter comes, we got to put it back on. And then, it's a different mindset. I honestly don't feel comfortable in going out yet. I'm going to wait until maybe a month or two to see how the situation goes. But so for the meantime, I will be cooking at home. And if that comes to worse, I'll be picking up curbside.
Well, one of the things that what I did this afternoon, besides, I did have lunch today. Oh, I had lunch at Wingstop. And again, a lot of people need to understand that a lot of our stores, even though they appear to be these national groups, a lot of the stores like Wingstop are locally owned. They're franchises that have been owned by a lot of individuals inside our community. And you also have to take notice that a lot of the people that are working there are, our neighbors. I know that people have been demanding more takeout than anything other days. So yeah, that's what I did. I went ordered some 24 pack and some fried green beans and some of that spicy fried corn at Wingstop. So it was kind of great lunch. And this evening, I actually went and I actually posted a video. I posted a video of going to Canasto. Cafe Canasto. Cafe Canasto is one of these, again, one of these businesses that, gosh almighty, great food, guys, and great beverages. But they had the misfortune to open up right when the coronavirus hit. So, you're talking about someone who's opening up a small business here in the city of Brownsville who, once they opened the door, they had to close it back up because everything got closed down. How is small business doing up there in Port Isabel, Jimmy? Hello?
We've got our small businesses doing curbside as well. We do our best. I mean, again, it's a community with Port Isabel on the island. We've got island people coming over here to get seafood over here. We share the love over in the island. So it's all the curbside services that we use in both communities. We're all over Facebook, just saying shop local, eat local. So we're doing that for now.
One of the things that we've encountered is, and we'll go into VISD a little bit, not too much, but in regards to food, one of the things that we've been dealing with is in regards to serving our students here in Brownsville. I know that IDEA and I forgot to say Jimmy does work for IDEA. IDEA was one of the first educational organizations here in the area who opted to give individuals a break and not to request that they bring their children with them to pick up the food products. And I think, it makes a lot of sense. And not only them, but also Los Fresnos, San Benito, Harlingen. Is Port Isabel distributing food, and are they requiring the students to be in the car with the parents?
No, it's the same thing. No, they don't need, as long as they have their information. And we're also feeding anybody. It doesn't have to be our students.
So isn't it kind of like crazy to be the only district in the surrounding area, and not to talk about, isn't it kind of crazy that everybody else is doing what everyone else thinks is the right thing, and the biggest district south of San Antonio not?
It's questionable, definitely. Yeah.
And the big thing, Erasmo, it wasn't so much that we were against the district giving away food. By all means, we understand that there is so much need, especially during these times. How unemployment is through the roof. Even though businesses are supposed to open up soon, there's still that uncertainty of what's to happen. So the idea was that we were against having the students in the vehicles. That's something that BISD has stressed throughout the entire time, that in order for the parents or the vehicles to pick up food, there was the need for the student to be present. So hats off to IDEA to taking a different stance in regards to seeing that there's a need and not making it mandatory for a student to be in a vehicle.
Yeah, and again, that was my only concern. Again, it's what makes sense. When you have a shelter in place on a community, you have to make sure that everyone starts to follow through. And I sort of started to feel that the district, by requiring parents to bring their children in their vehicle, were like going completely against what shelter in play really is about. And then and again, I mean, we all know BISD is a monster in regards to the strength that they have because of the financials. The biggest budget south of San Antonio, but then you had a lot of the like the county judge increasing the order of shelter in place by saying, well, 14-year-old and unders cannot be out and about, shouldn't be going shopping, shouldn't be going everywhere else. But then they would make exceptions. Well, if they're going to the school district to pick up food, it's going to be okay. And what I found kind of like trippy was that the only district that it was referring to was BISD, because every other district in the county was making sure that you didn't have to have the children in the vehicle. It just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. And again, God bless them. Again, I think as a community, we're going to feel the repercussion because of individuals that are bullheaded, necios, and no hacen caso, son tontos. Están aferrados a que, I want to go, and I don't want to be locked up in. Guys, this the COVID-19 is not a hoax, as much as many people have been trying to say that it is. It's not a Democrat left wing, trying to demolish the Trump economy. I mean, the number of individuals who have passed away from it is impressive. Have y'all been affected? How have y'all's numbers been up there, Jimmy and Port Isabel?
Right now we're at two positives. Of course, thanks, no deaths. Out of those two, one of them's already recovering, and she was one of our elderly. So thank God. I mean, again, we're a united community, and a lot of prayer, a lot of faith. They're both in recovery already, so we're trying to keep it there. And the island, of course, 0. So that's awesome.
Well, yeah, I think one of the things that saved the island was they managed to halfway close the end spring break early. One of the things that I've said, and again, I can't prove, but I'm going to dare say it again. I think one of the reasons why we have in Hidalgo County, in Cameron County, a lot of individuals who are in their 30s, in their 20s, who have tested positive. I'm going to dare say that some of them, because if you remember, Jimmy, one of the first cases that we heard about here in the area was a couple that had gone to South Padre Island and had actually gone back, I think, to Michigan or something, or Minnesota. And, supposedly they had picked it up at the island. So my concern was that a lot of the, and I call them los tacuaches del Valle, because the first 2, 3, 4 days of spring break se llena de puro tacuache del Valle, puro que los cholos se van para allá, and I'm thinking that a lot of these people went back to Hidalgo County, back to here to Cameron County, and took that Rona with them. So that's my guess. Again, I can't prove it, but that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it has to do with airports. The drive that it took for them to get back to where they were from. If it was a drive, if it was the airport. I was in the airport back in January, so my business partner and I, the one that works in the same department as me, we were talking about it, and we're like, we would see people with masks, right? And we're like, what's the big deal, And now look what it came to, that one person that was wearing a mask was already prepared for this. It was scary to see. And now, I mean, I was at Walmart earlier today. Everybody with masks. It's surreal. It's like I feel like I'm in a movie. So, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. Again, one of the other issues, I think, again, and I'm just speculating. It's just my best guess that that's what happened. And again, it's my story, and I'm going to stick to it. But one of the other things that we've been, constantly making mention of is in regards to a lot of these big old groups out here that, outside you need a parking lot, no gloves. I mean, masks. Well, let me tell you, you need to put a mask, even if we weren't in COVID COVID-19, Raul, because you're pretty damn ugly. But that's beside the point. I love you, Raul. Anyway, we haven't got the COVID cases yet. Oh, but one of the other things, as you know, here in our area, we do have a lot of these homes for kids who are coming in from out of the country. And Southwestern Keys, we've got Max CHS, and a couple of others. I can't remember the other names of the other ones. Can't remember the names, but not only them, but we started to get concerned in regards to a lot of the bigger companies that hire a lot of individuals in our area. I know that a lot of people from Port Isabel also work at Amphils or at the Port of Brownsville. And, at the Amphils, we've already gotten our 4 positive cases as of today, because 2 more positives came out today. And that is concerning because, again, we've been receiving word from a lot of individuals, that a lot of the individuals out there weren't maintaining that social distancing that was required, and that the company was being very, very lax in regards to making sure that they had the proper PPE in order to protect themselves and protect their coworkers and protect their families. I even had a discussion with some of the individuals from Amphos. They came up to me and said, Erasmo, I don't know where you're getting your stuff from, but it's not true. And I said, bro, come on, man. My thing is, if I'm hearing it from 3, 4, 5 different people, it's got to be true. It's got to be true. And it was an issue, guys. And as much as we need the jobs out here, jobs ain't going to be worth spit if we don't have healthy people or people who are alive to actually work them. Does big business, is there any big business up in Port Isabel that we need to worry about, or anyone's worried about that might not be being proactive in regards to PPE?
No, about the what?
PPE, proper protection.
Oh no, Walmart and HEB are our biggest companies. The school district is the biggest employer, so we're small.
Good, but again, y'all have taken measures in regards to protecting our people out there. I'm sure. The island was packed this past weekend, and no one was wearing a mask. That is very, very true. And again, now with the order of the governor, then less people are going to be wearing masks, because now you cannot get fined. Actually, I felt very tempted today, walking from one office to another office this morning, to walk out without a mask. But I knew that at the moment I would do that, someone was going to take a picture and say, "You see, Erasmo's not wearing a mask." So I opted to put my mask.
I actually saw today, Clayton's on their Facebook page, they posted a video of people being out there, and somebody made mention like, "Hey, they're not practicing social distancing." And I think they're constructing the pier currently right now, if I'm not mistaken. So there was still people hanging out. So again, are we going to get out of this hole if we continue, gathering in these type of places? My suggestion is, avoid places like that. But then again, it's hard to tell people what to do. We could just make suggestions.
Yeah, it's all you could do. Again, at this point, with Governor Abbott coming out and easing off a lot of the restrictions, I think that we're going to start seeing a lot more people that are going to be, trying to, do their own thing. And I think one of the biggest concerns out there is and we talked about this with Goodrich this morning, is in regards to Goodrich is in Spain. Chris is in Spain, and they've been hit hard, really, really hard. And Chris, I've known him to be kind of in poor health because of cancer, because of other operations he's had. So it's all these individuals that that feel that people being irresponsible by not adhering to a lot of the mandates, a lot of the recommendations from the CDC or from other government entities, that are placing their lives in danger and at risk. And again, one of the things I constantly tell people is, guys, me, I'm young. I'm 32 years old. So with me, if I get it, I'm going to probably be okay. But I'd be carrying it for 14, 15, 16 days, and I might infect Papa or Grandpa or Abuelito, and nobody wants that kind of stuff on them. We got to be a little bit more responsible, Jimmy.
Yes, sir. That's the thing. I mean, y'all are telling me this, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm not out there on the island. I'm home here with my dog Phoebe, enjoying my. Well, I work from home either way, so it's not really a big impact for me. But I do miss, I miss my board meetings at the board room. I'm missing all of the final events where all of our students are super excited. I caught myself crying a couple of times just thinking about the seniors. Everything they're.
Yes.
But it's like you all said, it's man up and move on. We're doing as much as we can to make it special for them. So
Amen, brother.
that's all we can do.
Remember, I told you all about my uncle who passed away last week. Well, the entire family is infected, but so far are stable. So it hits very differently. Yes, nonetheless, everyone needs to do their part. Yeah, I think as soon as one of our family members is infected, like all these people, like my Raul and everybody else down there, you know, once somebody very close to you gets infected, then you're going to think of it a little bit differently. I tend to just think of it as I'm trying to be empath- empathetic with the individuals. Port Isabel is so small that everyone there is my cousin. Los primos de Port Isabel.
He's probably my cousin too.
I don't want to die. Still haven't tried a churro. Well, you might want to be doing a churro right about now. When they say you spread false information, tell I'm not Hannity from Fox News. I don't look that good. Nude beach mask required on all eyes. Ryan Santana, usen gorras, por favor. We did mention Amphos this morning. I think we've caught up with the comments. God, people, be nice to me. Let's go into BISD. God, why not? We'll go in softly, guys. I do want to talk about today's budget meeting, and I know a lot of you are out there waiting for us to make mention in regards to the budget meeting. I will give you my take on it in regards to a lot of the bull crap that was shared in it. And again, guys, one of the things that I will say about BISD is, and I've told Frankie and I told Jimmy before coming on, and I've told a couple other people, BISD for me is like Christmas right now. It's the gift that keeps on giving every day. They seem to be sticking themselves in deeper and deeper in the hole. So we'll talk a little bit about it. But I want to talk about something that Jimmy mentioned is in regards to graduation. Graduation. It's a very, very soft spot. A lot of individuals out here, are a little hurt. Because of they want to have a graduation, and again, I don't blame anyone out there. Puro vela, los vela de Port Isabel. I understand, and again, congratulations to all BISD graduates. I love my seniors, man. One of the things that I experienced a lot in regards to going to campuses, going to schools, was the reaction, and a lot of that reaction came from my juniors and my seniors last year, who were my juniors, and this year are my seniors. And y'all know, guys, I love y'all to death as with all my heart. But again, we're in very, very difficult times, and one of the things that the district has been giving out now, which is like weeks after other districts have started to do, is Cenero's opening up, but you can only lick 25% of the girls. That's not nice, John. You're trying to get me in trouble, bro. ¿Qué onda, Erasmo? Eduardo, saludos. Once a family is infected, they still forget my rights. Yeah. Yes, congrats to all graduates. Yes. Get Drew Brown out. We'll talk about Drew in a little bit. But so a lot of the districts around our areas, they started to, start plan for different days. I think Los Fresnos, one of the first ones, San Benito as well, Harlingen. And then Harlingen came out with virtual graduation, which I thought, was a cool idea in regards to doing something. Now, BISD, I finally announced today, after we announced it like last week, Frankie, in regards to let's do virtual graduation. And they sort of got a little backlash from a lot of the students. They're going like, are y'all crazy? Because a lot of the students don't want to do this. What is y'all students' reaction up there, Jimmy, in Port Isabel?
I bring it up all the time, but we're such a small time. We're so united. Like you said on the show yesterday, we're so small. Everybody knows each other. the kids are very understanding. At first, the parents were very, they were thinking of asking of what we were going to do. And of course, Terry and our superintendent and her cabinet, they were working together and making sure that the students do get what they deserve. We're doing a very special virtual graduation. We're not going to say what's going to happen in it because we don't want anybody to take our ideas. But but we're going to do a virtual graduation, and Dios quiere, whenever we can give them their traditional, we're going to celebrate their traditional graduation as well. So the kids are looking forward to that.
Do you think, honestly, with everything that's going on in the country, with now we're in the United States, we've already surpassed the 1 million mark in regards to individuals who have tested positive. We have surpassed, I think, 58,000 people that have passed away. Here in Cameron County, we're at 376, unless the numbers have just changed, plus I think 17 deaths here. Jimmy, do you really, really believe that it's going to be feasible to have an atypical form of graduation anytime this summer?
We have 140 graduates. It's a very small number. So We're not dealing with masses of people like you all are. So we've thought about setting up the stadium and, social distancing with tape, maybe just letting parents in and making the rest streaming live. We're looking at all of our options, but we're definitely a small enough school to be able to make it work, especially with all of these lifts that have been going on already. So we're being optimistic about it, and I think that would be the difference. In Brownsville, you all have, what is it, thousands of kids graduating per
700, 500, 400, tons.
So you times that by 2 parents, you already have thousands of people. With us, it's like tops 1,000 people. So, we're thinking of doing something like that. Don't mark my words. I'm gonna give a disclosure right now. I'm not the spokesperson for PISD, but
only vice president.
I can give that information that I do know, so it's public information.
Good. PI can have the graduation ceremony in groups of 10. They finish in 30 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much.
They could probably have it out there at Fisherman's Wharf, and there'd still be a lot of room left over to invite me and Frankie. Erasmo graduation speech is longer than PI graduate. You remembered my graduation speech. I'm Francisco Chin. It was long. I think I gave like 15, 17 minutes.
Wow.
Fuera.
¿Sabes qué? It's sort of good that I did do the 15, 17 minutes for the time that I wouldn't be able to do it because I resigned from the board. So I gave my last hurrah.
Hey, Jimmy, in regards to the current situation, we've been hearing a lot from our teachers and parents from BISD regarding the distant learning. What's been the reception in PI, both from the community and for your teachers? Have the teachers especially been able to manage this new trend?
Our superintendent put together a teacher advisory council when she came in. So she has teachers from each one of our schools coming in and kind of giving her the first look, the frontline point of view from the teachers. And if you would see the response that teachers have to talk to teachers, not that they don't tell their principals, but the principals right now are so busy doing other stuff where the teachers are talking to the teachers and they're bringing the concerns to the superintendent. So all of the concerns that the parents were having were able to let the teachers know, and the teachers in turn were able to let the superintendent know. So they were able to work together, like work cohesively to make all of the loose ends. They're able to fix them. So up till now, I mean, we're running very smoothly.
So the response has been great. Again, one of the things I think that why here in Brownsville it really hasn't fallen completely through the sewer is because we do have amazing teachers, and the teachers have done their best in regards to maintaining as much as possible. one of the things I think that differs Port Isabel from Browns, I think in Port Isabel, I think we have like 12 campuses. Is that correct?
Port Isabel?
Yeah. No? How many campuses?
5.
5 campuses.
Four.
Four.
We have 4 campuses in Port Isabel. You know, we have to take into consideration here. It's 10 times that amount. No, 12 times that amount. But with that said, you know, we also have 20 times more personnel at the higher level to be able to do all that work. So again, it's not an excuse and not looking down on anyone in regards, you know, because again, if you have those 5 campuses, we have probably 3 times that those many administrators or the higher ups up there, you know, doing half the job that probably a lot of the teachers are already expected to do. With that said, the issue up here is that, you know, we have 52 campuses, 54 campuses, and we have different messages being given through all the campuses. You know, so there's no congruency in regards to message. You know, one teacher up here, one principal up here will tell their teachers, well, you have to do this, and this, oh, you have to do this, and this, you have to do this. But one of the things that we've had a constant with is in regards to the grading system. You know, we've been telling the people for like 5 weeks already, guys, grades are over. You know, there's no way, especially in a district our size, to fairly grade individuals who have not been present in class. You know, we weren't ready for all this. You know, no one was, and no one could be ready for something like this. It's what you do with what you are given that makes the difference. And I know that IDEA, you know, opted to take a lot of the, and we talked to Ryan about this. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks for mentioning my scooter. Ryan, we talked with Ryan about this, but I think IDEA was a little bit more proactive, as were other districts around us in regards to you know, taking action and easing a lot of the anxiety and stress that was being placed on the teachers. Do y'all have any complaints in your role as an IDEA employee or as a vice president for the school board in Port Isabel? Do you have any complaints in regards to the anxiety, the stress that the teachers are going through?
No, I mean, IDEA is huge. We have thousands of employees. So I work more in the I guess back end of stuff. I'm doing more HR stuff. So I don't really hear, and it's not even HR. It's more hiring stuff. So I just hear the good stuff, you know, like the teachers we're hiring and all of the good news. But like Ryan was mentioning, we have all staff calls where staff are able to communicate. The administration is very open and they ask for feedback. That's one thing about IDEA. It's about feedback. They want the feedback, whether it's good, whether it's bad, give it to us. And that's part of the reason, you know, the teachers are happy there. Port Isabel, again, feedback. The teacher advisory council, there's 2 teachers per school. So if a teacher has a concern, they go to their peer and they tell them, you know what, I want this to be brought up. I want, you know, you ought to talk about it. So, and it's straight up to the superintendent, you know. It's all about communication more than anything. As long as the communication bit is there, I feel like you're going to have a successful system.
Well, I think one of the things that Beatrice mentioned in regards to we need that in BISD, we truly do. But a real advisory board, not handpicked teachers, voted teachers. And again, Beatrice, you're so right. You hit it right on the head. The problem with BISD is they fill up these committees and these little boards and stuff and everything else out there. They fill them with their yes people. And if you got individuals on there, they're going to be your yes people and not your eye-opening people, then you're going to basically get whatever one individual determines or decides to do. And you know, it's very, very unfortunate. And that's part of having a board and a superintendent that wants to micromanage absolutely everything out there. And when that happens, the only thing that you get is chaos and stressful situations, because a clear understanding of what people are going through out there in the district is not happening. And something that you mentioned in regards to the communication is essential in any organization, in any group. If you don't have communication, if you don't have individuals that are out there sharing facts and, you know, database facts, you're going to have a lot of the individuals falling through the cracks. And that's what we have here. I mean, I've talked to the school associations here in Brownsville, and they've made mention that the number of teachers who are now on anxiety medication is risen drastically, and it's very, 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 very horrible. Bring hope back to the district. Get rid of the board now. November. Be patient, my man. Be patient. Ironica La Cruz.
Going back to the handpicked teachers at Erasmo,
Yeah.
what that lady brought up was true. You look at our advisory board, and it's the most outspoken teachers that the school knows. So the principal puts it out. It's like a student council election, right? So you get any of the teachers that want to participate, the teachers vote for them, and that's the way it is. The one that gets the most votes is the one that's going to be speaking on their behalf. And you better believe that panel is all very outspoken, very well-respected teachers, which is another important factor when they're selected.
But again, it's the right way to do things, and I think one of the things that BISD gets caught in is it's so hard for them to do the right thing. And again, it's not rocket science, bros. It's not rocket science. One of the things that I tell individuals, a lot of the things that we've been saying for 5 weeks now, 5 weeks that we've been on here every day. One of the things that I've been saying is that I'm not and Jimmy knows me, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I am definitely not, but I do read, and I do get online a lot, and I find that other districts are doing things that that make sense, and it's a lot of it has to do with common sense. We didn't know. I didn't know what the TEA and Mike Morath recommendations were going to be before they called him out for a town hall at BISD. I didn't know, but he said exactly what we've been saying for weeks. And again, it's not like we're psychic or but we do listen to what Port Isabel is doing, and that's what makes me shine, bro. So I appreciate that. I get to see what y'all are doing, come out here and say it online, and go like, damn it, I don't know what he's talking about. No, I just listen, and that's part of the problem. When you got a group of individuals who refuse to listen, when you got a superintendent who se amacha and it's my way or the highway type of situation, it doesn't work well for the district. And I know that that's not the type of superintendent that y'all have out there at Port Isabel. Y'all have a great one.
Yeah, I'm not going to ill speak about BISD. They're our neighbors to the north or to the south. One of the board members, is a very good friend of mine. All I hear is her side of things, which I mean, obviously, I listen to, as a colleague. Same thing with you, when we talk about the stuff at the conferences and stuff. We're all like, we're leaders, and I understand sometimes when the majority of the board is there, it's like you said, your hands are tied, So I feel you and I feel her, like it's hard, like you said. I mean, you were in there too when the majority was there, so
yeah. Oh no, and again, it's one of the things I think that we're dealing with as a community as a whole. And I think again, one of the things that we BISD wants to get rid of counselors. Yeah, we'll talk about the counselor situation in a little bit. But let me tell you, that's one of the issues that I think that a lot of people don't understand the dynamics of it right now. We had a very toxic school board, and as much as people may not understand or realize, I came in November of 2018. I mean, I immediately found out that we were up Poop Creek, because of the different illegalities that the board majority was doing. And I know that your friend and my friend was not a part of that corrupt board majority. But when you have an individual out there that controls the entire board and an entire district, I mean, that's what places us in the different positions where money starts to exchange hands. And again, it's not rumors, it's not gossip, it's taking bribes from undercover federal agents. And again, one of the things that I made very, very clear out there, and again, and I'll say it, your friend and my friend, was not a part of that majority, but the president of the board and this person's majority, they fomented the culture that permitted the vice president, to put her hands in the cookie jar. And that's very, very unfortunate. And one of my concerns with the people of Brownsville is the people of Brownsville, they tend to forget. They tend to forget, and they they'll go back and go like, "What? Pues déjame decir," because I don't know what the hell people are. I honestly still don't understand how stupid anyone could be here in the city of Brownsville to go out there and vote for Minerva Peña. You got to be pretty stupid to throw your vote behind that idiotic individual. Probably the worst, the lowest IQ elected official that I have ever in my life going to come across. But that's just my personal opinion. Not usually. Teachers that are yes people. I like my district, but I want to be informed and ask questions. The uppers don't like to be questioned. They don't. But again, we don't have a lot of teachers here who are questioning teachers because they're so afraid of retaliation. They're afraid for their job. And again, you besties with Minerva. I spit on her grave. Yes, that's why they pick the yes people. I question everything. I'm a strong personality, army soldier, and teacher. My favorite kind. The school board, the felon board attorney, and criminals, Atkinson and Cowan, are what y'all should focus on. All right, and let me tell you, we'll get there. The LFISD doing a soft opening. Yes, Los Fresnos Independent School District is doing a soft opening. I think that they're doing it a little bit sooner than BISD. Again, I've said it. I love Los Fresnos, and I know I'm going to get a call later on tonight from my friends on the board. Erasmo, you're talking about Los guys. It's a mistake to do the soft opening, guys. My opinion, it's a mistake. Leave parents at home, and I'll tell you why I think it's a mistake, Jimmy, and then you can give me your input. I think it's a mistake because a lot of our teachers who are doing distant learning, they're asking them and a lot of the staff to come back onto campus. Well, they have children, A lot of them are single parents at home. What are they supposed to do with their children? What is your take on soft openings?
Well, again, they're another district, neighboring district. I don't want to be negative about it, but it's what the leadership wants. It's like the community has to really trust on what the leadership is saying. So I think it's paraprofessionals, right, that are going to be beginning. Is that what I heard?
I hear teachers and classified staff. By classified staff, we're going to have a lot of the secretarial staff, maybe some paraprofessionals, a lot of office staff, but some teachers are going to volunteer to go back on campus.
I would definitely like to hear the logic. That's basically, there has to be a logic if they're making that decision. Let's talk about
IDEA. I mean, is IDEA doing soft openings?
No, absolutely not.
And we're talking about what a giant organization that's not going to do soft openings. Yeah. What's the logic in them not doing soft openings? Do you know?
It's the same. Well, a lot of our schools are being used as mobile hospitals. So they're they have to keep those schools available for that, just in case the pandemic does get serious to where they were expecting it to get. Other than that, I mean, it's the safety of the staff, making sure the staff, again, IDEA thinks a lot about their kids also. Where are the kids going to stay, if the teachers go out and work. So.
Are you seeing these comments?
Yeah, that's a whole different topic for a whole different show.
Put me in, coach. Put me in. Jimmy, put me in, Jimmy.
That's a big one right now.
How's y'all's football situation?
Well, what can I say? Port Isabel was the Valley's football team back when I was in elementary. We had a few good runs right after I left high school, 2007. So we like to win just like anybody else, right? But it's definitely something the community really, looks for as far as, getting that right person that's going to I mean, I can't say anything ill about anybody, right? It's everyone's a professional. Everyone has their strengths, but finding that person that's gonna really make that team, that's what the community is looking for, and obviously that's what we're looking for too. I was never in sports. I was never in athletics, so I'm proud of. I'm a proud band product of band. Our band is state recognized, so I want to send a shout out to all of our staff.
Awesome. I love my Portersville folk. I really do. I mean, I have a lot of individuals on this page that are from Portersville, and they know I love Portersville. I love to go eat there, and
Oh
the food is pretty damn good. Let's see if we have any questions before we go into today's budget meeting. He looked like a PTI cat. Hey, I might get one from Jimmy soon. Hey, if Erasmo wins
we'll have to
PSD4
get
this
you
year,
one.
I'll have barbecue for him at my ranch. And let me tell you, John, let's do it. Ya dijiste, bro. It's going to be a big old shindig out there. Well, blue scooter. I'll take that from Val, too. I saw a video of a Chinese guy stepping on masks before they packaged. God help us all. Jobs. All right, today BISD, we had our budget meeting. Let me tell you guys, what a disaster. What a disaster. And Jimmy, you don't have to comment on this, but I'll make mention it. They're speaking in regards to a lot of the different positions that we're going to be considered for absorption. And amongst those were 27 counselors. Library staff will be reduced by 14 elementary aides. Talked about RNs, cutting down on RNs at our high schools. 42 elementary teachers are going to be absorbed. We talked about, I'm going to miss out that one. 25 middle school teachers going to be absorbed. 82 high school teachers are going to be absorbed, guys. 12 high school athletic periods, 2 academics, 2 middle schools. Consider absorbing up to 3 maintenance supervisors. Yikes. Supervisor, be careful. Consider absorbing up to 46 maintenance workers, guys. That's probably more than CISD has staff. Consider absorbing up to 72 custodians. Child nutrition, consider absorbing up to 2 food nutrition services supervisors. 70%. Consider establishing an MPLH efficiency of up to 70%. They want to save a total of $54 million. Oh no, clerical staff, $54 million. Guys, let me tell y'all something before again, Jimmy, you don't have to comment on this. You desperately want to, but the situation in regards to absorbing these jobs. And one of the things that little Eddie and La Idiota de la Peña, Minera Peña, was out there saying was, nobody's going to lose their job. We have to make clear nobody's going to lose their job. Don't be stupid, guys. I mean, these people are either they're deaf, tone, or stupid, or they don't understand what these people are trying to do. We've been saying it for weeks already. When a district starts to cut individuals, they're not going to cut from the top. They're going to cut from the bottom, and they're going to start absorbing. That means if you're going to have 10 individuals out there and you're going to make 5 go to somewhere else, those 5 that are left are going to be basically doing the job of 10 individuals anyway. And again, a lot of it has to do with attrition by individuals, that they hope that they start to retire, they start to leave out, and they'll increase the benefits in regards to individuals like, hey, come on, retire, we're going to give you a little bit more money. And by that way, trying to basically freeze the hiring. Jimmy, you work in HR. Isn't this basically what people try to do in regards to the hiring?
When it comes to attrition, yes. Yeah.
So again, guys, it's not going to be a comfortable. Before anyone out there, think of this, guys. It's not going to be a comfortable situation. Not going to be a comfortable situation for the bottom rung of the organizational chart. And that is you all, folks. That is 3,400 of our individuals out there. That is you all. Now, with that said, one of the main things that they focused on was the counselors. And I know Carlos put up a comment in regards to the counselors. And I'll explain the counselor situation. Because one of the things that Pobrecita La Drew and Minerva were trying to basically say was that it was other administration's fault. It wasn't the fault of the current board or the current administration. Let's Drew, instead of bull crapping your way through the meeting, you should have spoken with the truth. The truth is the council situation was because of Sylvia Atkinson. Sylvia Atkinson was the one who, Drew, you have to remember, I was on the board at that time, who pushed for us to increase the number of counselors that we had per campus. She pushed it. Now, the reason that Sylvia pushed it was because Sylvia herself was the one that created the mess, Drew. She created the mess. The complaints that they filed against her over using the Social Security numbers without her permission had to do with adding more counselors. So come on, Drew. If you to my people out there, my BISD people, you have a choice. Either you're going to hear the bull crap that Minerva Peña throws out there and dishes out there regularly and constantly, or you're going to hear Drew, who tries to whitewash. No offense to the white people out there, but tries to whitewash everything in regards to saying, "Oh, it's not our fault. It's everybody else's fault." No, sir. It is Sylvia Atkinson's fault that we are in this mess. That is the truth. And it is Drew's fault, Prisi's fault, and Minerva's fault. It is their fault for fomenting the culture that permitted Sylvia Atkinson to hire all those teachers, all those counselors, in order to cover up the mess she made when she was an HR director, and she literally used Social Security numbers without permission. That is the truth. And anyone out there in BISD who was living it back then knows this is a fact, guys. That's why these types of meetings are shams. Shams. Now, you've got a choice. Either you continue to heal the bull crap that little Eddie and Minerva and Drew are dishing out, the bull crap that they're dishing out, or flip-flopping Philip out there not understanding what the heck is going on. You have a choice. You listen to them or you listen to the truth. Your choice. But the truth it shall set you free. That was my Sunday sermon. Anyway, that was my BISD spill. Frankie, any comment on it?
No, it's all political. We all know there was questions in regards to Drew Brown. I'll just look at my comments very quickly. We did get something sent in that Drew Brown has stated that they inherited a mass hiring of counselors, but Zendejas wanted to abide by state guidelines, but Atkinson voted against it. Again, we've seen how time and time again Sylvia Atkinson has had her hand in many dealings at BISD. We had great direction with Dr. Zendejas. We had a district that was rated A in previous years. So it's unfortunate how we've gone to what we had to what we are now. We time and time again, we have seen the lack of leadership from administration. Again, it started with the whole Charo Days fiasco to the spring break. They were still coming back, and now we're dealing with May 4th, voluntold, so to speak. So, it feels like if it's a beginning of the end, everything's beginning to unravel. We don't have a key player on the board no more, being Sylvia Atkinson. She is tied, and attention is focused on her case, which is set for June the 8th. So only time will tell. We've seen how these people are vindictive. They take things very personally, and it's sad that the teachers, administrators feel some sort of retaliation if they don't bow and kiss the ring. But relief is coming, guys. November 2020. You and I, we can make that happen.
Do you think the BISD board members are pocketing money? I will say that I know for a fact that Sylvia Atkinson took bribes from an undercover federal agent I know for a fact that she was pocketing money, and I know for a fact that Minerva, Prissy, and Drew helped her, fomented the culture. So yes, 100%. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. In regards to Charo Days, Jimmy, you were part of IDEA back when we were doing Charo Days.
Yes.
So what was the sentiment in regards to the city of Brownsville not permitting, or BIZ not permitting IDEA to participate?
Well, I mean, we pretty much. I know that we sponsor the Friday parade,
Yes.
so I knew that our kids were going to be able to be a part of that one. But I mean, it's like you think of segregation, right? Like, is that really necessary? Do you need to not, let a school perform? But again, I heard that they were doing a rotation, right? The schools were doing a rotation, so then I
Yes.
understood that part too. Y'all have so many schools, and I think all of them participated this year, right? I think all of
They
them
all
got to
they all
participate.
they all participated on that Thursday. Yeah, in order to
That's awesome,
appease a
and I
lot of
think
people.
that was good. I mean, that shouldn't be going by rotation. I mean,
No.
the Child Day parades are long enough as it is. Every school participating it's great. I mean, it's more you're exposing the kids a lot more to that positive exposure.
With all due respect, if there are too many positions that need to be cut, then they should be cut. Mike, I agree with you 100%. The problem is you're cutting from the wrong side, bro. You're cutting from the wrong side. You have to understand that we have a board attorney that's making $320,000 a year. We got a superintendent that's making $375,000 a year. We have two deputy superintendents that are making $400,000 a year, $200,000 a piece, and you still want to cut the custodian who's taking in $800 to $1,200 a month? Really? Those are the people that you want to focus on in order to cut? Sorry, my man. Cut from the top. If we all hired a superintendent, let the superintendent take the cut. Let the higher ups take the cut. Why should my people at the bottom be taking cuts?
Are they cutting or is it attrition? Do you
Uh,
know?
right now it's attrition, but
Okay,
what's going to happen is,
they're
look,
just not going
right,
to fill up the.
no, right now supposedly it's just via through attrition, but again, a lot of individuals are going to be. This is the way it works here. They're going to be forced out. They're going to be placed in positions that they do not want or cannot do, and they're going to say, "Well, you have a couple of options. You can retire now," and that's exactly what's going to happen. And anyone that wants to call me out on it, go ahead and do it. You know it's true. In any other business, that is the norm. You have to understand one thing, Mike. This unfortunately, as much as it's going to be a business, you have to make sure that you're getting your bang for your buck. And I don't think that we as a district have been receiving our bang for our buck from the individuals that are on the higher ups. And if anyone disagrees with me in that respects, come on the show and we'll talk about it. I promise you, I got some more information for you. Get rid of the super's assistants, save some jobs. I agree with Felix. Unneeded. Justin, you need to go to the military, get out of Brownsville, spread your wings. Spread them, bro. I got told when I got arrested that. Spread them! That's a different story. Oh, buenas noches. Drew doesn't care. Mendiga doesn't care. I'm a welder. I love Justin. Sorry, my bad. You're good, man. I just talk like that there. How is having more counselors a bad thing? It isn't a bad thing. The issue is that one of the things that Sylvia was trying to cover up, she was trying to cover up her mess in regards to the Social Security fiasco. Because you remember, it had to do with a lot of these same individuals. So they were trying to cover up. And then she said, oh, our students need more attention. So they hired counselors like crazy. And of course, by hiring counselors, she was out there hiring her old camaradas, trying to pay favors. Because that's what happens around here. Little Eddie sounds like a robot. Little Eddie doesn't know what he's saying. Little Eddie didn't even speak to the budget committee meeting because he didn't understand what the hell was going on. Because little Eddie was never elected to a position. I'm sorry. When you get appointed to a position, doesn't mean you earned it. It was given to you. Now, when you were appointed by a corrupt board that's under federal and DEA investigation, an FBI investigation, shut the hell up. And again, like we said, she has the majority of the board in her pocket. The truth will set you 25 to life. I love you, Francisco. You can never have enough counselors. Kids can't function academically. They don't feel good about themselves. Counselors are swamped with other tasks, and many have very little time to actually meet the kids on an individual. And I agree with you, Celeste. The problem is with these people is that they hired way too many counselors, and now that's where they're focusing on. If you went back into the meeting, if you could see the meeting, the first group that they targeted was counselors, because the TASB individual who made the report basically started with them because she hired hasta de más, la prima, la tía, la abuelita, Erasmo Castro con canas. I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm going to think it's a good thing. Having more counselors only serves the interest of our students. I agree, bro. BISD, are you fighting with me again, Ryan? BISD needs to start cutting personnel from the main office. Amen. So many secretaries, all teachers, administrators who mess up with their campuses, they get moved. Blah, blah, blah. Exactly. And let me tell you guys, I know for a fact, I've seen individuals earning $80,000 in a little cubicle, in a little office, without a computer, without a phone, just sitting there, because you got hired. I definitely agree with you. My son's counselor, Keller, has been a wonderful impact on my son. We need, amen, I agree. El cat, I love my cat. Beating a dead horse on the Charo Day parade. Well, Mike, the only reason we mentioned it is because Jimmy works for IDEA, and they were cut off a couple weeks behind, so it's not a dead horse. BISD is so jealous of IDEA. Jimmy, you might like that. El gatito. Let's cut attorney and superintendent pay. Let me tell you, it's going to happen. So true, Erasmo. Thank you, Erica. Love you. IDEA has counselors dedicated just to help kids apply and get through the process of scholarships to college. Is that true, Jimmy?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Your position was given, or it was, let me tell you, my position was given to Eddie because his relatives are politicos, and because he was going to be a yes person. I mean, you have to understand the corrupt board majority were the ones that appointed little Eddie. It is what it is. What are his qualifications from the board? Little Eddie. Not a damn thing. Oh, he's a yes man for Sylvia Atkinson. That's his qualification. And a dumb butt for Minerva Peña. BSD has a counselor dedicated to drink coffee all day. What happened to your nobody anymore? What happened? You're no one anymore. Well, I'm still someone. I'm still on here. Can counselors be placed back in classrooms? I'm going to say yes. Again, I don't know if it'll be the best thing. 80,000, man. I'm doing it wrong. Let me tell you, we all are. Our area administrators needed. They get paid too much. No, we have way too many area administrators. Way too many. And we, right before the Rona, we hired one more. It was ridiculous. Ridiculous. Frankie, anything else we need to cover today? You're mute.
No, sorry about that. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Again, we do have Texas opening up. I did want to talk about PUB, but maybe we could touch on that tomorrow morning, if not tomorrow. We have been getting a lot of people who have been questioning their bill as of late. So they've seen some discrepancies from 1 month to 1 month. So stay safe out there, guys. Let's try our best to be proactive in regards to this COVID-19. Hopefully one day we can live some sort of normalcy once again. And thanks again, Jimmy, for your time. It's always fun to listen and hear from our neighbors in PI. It's always great to have you on, man. Nice to see you again.
Thank you, guys.
Jimmy, any last words, Jimmy?
Frankie, bring your mask back.
I will.
We're missing the mask today. No, I just wanted to, thank you all for letting me come in and share some love from Port Isabel. Like you said, I know you have a few viewers over here on our side of the town. So I know Nadine was here, right? The mayor from LV, the incoming mayor.
Laguna Vista.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Yeah. So thank you all, and I mean, just keep stating the facts. Facts.
That's all you can do. Jimmy, again, I've known you for like a year and a half, maybe 2 years. Let me tell you, I've always been very impressed as that you're an individual that's out there for the community. I've seen a lot of your posts. I've seen a lot of the activities you go out there. I truly believe that Port Isabel is very well served with your leadership on that board. So, man, thank you so much for what you do for our community, man. And
Thank you.
hopefully next year we'll be up there together at the national conference.
Hopefully.
if all things go well in November, man. Send our
There you
love
go.
to everyone out there in Port Isabel. Love y'all, man. Stay safe. Everyone here in Brownsville, stay safe. Sorry we didn't get to all the questions. We sure as heck did try. Again, guys, tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock in the morning, we're going to have Christopher Goodrich again, all the way from Spain, Valencia, España. Viene desde Valencia, España, para estar con nosotros. And guys, stay safe. Hopefully by tomorrow we'll have more information. We didn't get the numbers, right, Frankie?
No press conference, no numbers as of yet.
We haven't gotten any numbers of it yet. We did hear from Dr. Ed Hernandez through social media posts that the numbers are going to be staggering. Is that what I understood, Frankie? That they're going to be pretty hot and heavy for the city of Brownsville?
Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah. So again, guys, be prepared. Tomorrow we're going to be slapped in the face with a lot of individuals who are positive, maybe a couple of deaths out there. It's not going to look pretty, guys. And if the numbers do come in later on tonight, we will discuss them tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Anyone out there, please, if you haven't as of yet, please go subscribe to the YouTube channel, Erasmo Castro. Subscribe. We have to get to 1,000, folks, and we're almost about halfway there. We have to get to 1,000, so we'll be able to post live from the phone. God bless. Take care. Be good to each other. Be good to us also here. God bless.